everyone. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. Always so happy to find you here. I do upload on Thursdays. So when you subscribe, you will get an alert of when I've uploaded new content for your review. And of course, my pleasure. It's always my pleasure. I believe we're going to be on this topic for a while because I can't let it go. And you probably have been engaged with it too. The whole, I don't even know what to call it anymore, really. Embarrassment is not strong enough. Debacle, maybe debacle. Y'all like that? Okay, we'll call it debacle until it's over. The whole political debacle that's going on in the LA City Council. It's got my attention because it's as if you watched my last video, the last two, yeah. We're talking about ego at this point. The failure to step down, the refusal to step down, the I don't hear you no matter who you are, President of the United States, other city councilmen, women, council, colleagues, and my constituents, even. Black Lives Matter, radio hosts, people that have had my ear before. I don't hear you. I'm going to do what I want to do. That's what we're dealing with. So I'm going to stay on this topic because, as I mentioned before, it is the most difficult thing to do is to deal with positional power and the ego. And what a demonstration. It will have to be a part of my next book whenever I get around to it. So I've put down my writing wand for a little bit, just for a little bit. I'm taking notes. I have, I want to say 3 or 4 manuscripts in progress, but I haven't done any work on them. But I take notes and then I bring them back together. But this will certainly be one of them. And let me tell you why. When you have this in the workplace, because elected official or not, you get a paycheck. And this conduct, behavior is unacceptable. So let's start there. It's the ego that is making him do this. Kevin DeLeon is who I'm talking about. So he's on an apology tour now. And in this particular upload, I want to focus on where he's at right now. And that is in a discussion. So here's the ego. I can do anything. Just watch me work. Had the audacity to go on the Tavis Smiley show, radio show. I think that was yesterday. I'm going to upload it at the bottom of the description box. As you know, I do homework for y'all. I'm going to upload the link at the bottom of the description box. It's about an hour long. They were sitting together discussing this issue. But it's very interesting. So let's first talk about Tavis Smiley. If you're not familiar with Tavis Smiley, and even his history before he became as well known as he is today. So Tavis Smiley is a radio host. He had a show on PBS. Prior to that, he had a show on BET for many years. He had his own podcast, I believe, with Cornel West. So there's strength right there. Their issues, their platform, I should say, is the empowerment of Black people, recognizing who we are as a people, so Pan-Africanism. They are also very committed to elevating the Black lives. So they have, Tavis has even founded I believe it's a youth leadership, I think maybe a nonprofit, I believe. So in other words, he's into his Blackness, and he's a radio host, and he's had many years doing it. And you gonna talk to him? Okay. You think okay to go talk to him, and he's about the culture. But prior to this part of knowing who Tavis is, he is also an author of many books. And his books are entitled, I believe he has one called What I Know for Sure. That was one of my favorites. And then he talks about his experience as a Black man and growing up. And growing up, I believe in Gulfport, Mississippi is where he's from. But even before writing these books, way back in 1990, one of Tavis's first jobs was an administrative aide or administrative assistant to then Mayor Tom Bradley. The first, or maybe the only Black, chief of police, let's see. Maybe the only, anyway, one of the first, I believe, first Black mayor of Los Angeles. In 1990, Tavis was his aide, his right-hand man, from 1990 to 1993, 1994. So he also understands the political arena. The reason I'm bringing up so much about Tavis is, do you know who you're going to go sit across to for an hour? Kevin DeLeon, first of all. This is a man who has experience in politics, who has experience behind the scenes as a radio host, who has experience in Black culture and has written books about it and has interviewed many people. He talks to Kevin DeLeon in this interview about him interviewing Muhammad Ali. So you gonna go talk to him? No. That's ego. Yes, I'm a god. Watch me work. He made matters worse for himself. However, I will say this, because I have seen Tavis interview many people. I used to really enjoy watching his show, very much so. It was a part of my regular routine is to watch him and see who he's interviewing. I thought he was fairly soft with him. I thought he was fairly, I guess I would say soft. In other words, I know he could have hit him harder, but I thought that he was being respectful of him. He did push a little bit. He did unpack a few things. And one of those things three things I'd like to point out from that interview, and again, I'm going to drop the link for you to see it, is he started off saying, do you understand what the word flippant is? So as we all know by now, Kevin DeLeon made a comment about, I believe Nuri Martinez are saying that when he used the word flippant, or when he was being flippant. He said he was being flippant, referring to her expensive handbags. No, you weren't. Tavis defined the word flippant at least 3 or 4 times. I thought he was being flippant at the time. I was like, oh, you being cold. But he defined the word flippant 3 or 4 times in this interview to this politician, because he knew he was talking to his ego. Then I'm getting to the point where, oh, I see what Tavis is doing. He is knocking down ego. He's making him think it's okay for him to come out the cage because he knows he's talking to his ego. So I had to adjust my view of how I was seeing or listening to that interview. He said that the word flippant meant not showing a serious or respectful attitude. And in a way, he was doing it back to Kevin DeLeon. If you watch closely, he was kind of doing it back to him. So that one part, Kevin DeLeon had the nerve to try and explain that he was only making matters worse. It had gotten to the point to where Tavis said many times in this interview, do you see how this could come across to others? He asked a question directly, knowing where you are now. If you were on that call then, What would you do different? And the answer was surprisingly, it was almost as if it was really kind of nothing. Like he said he'd stop it, but I was expecting him to say, I would immediately say, what is it you're saying? You shouldn't say. I would have gone after her. He never said that. I thought he'd say something like, I would find what we're talking about irrelevant, at least. Or why are we having this conversation? Something. He said nothing like that. It's making matters worse. So then Tavis goes into saying, I've interviewed many people. And one that really stands out is when I interviewed the champ. And he looks at Kevin DeLeon as if Kevin DeLeon didn't know what champ he's talking about. So right there, Black culture, you ain't aware. He went on to say Muhammad Ali. And he said, the thing that Muhammad Ali said, as he's traveled the world, and he's spoken to many people, and he's interviewed countless times, is this one thing he knows about people, is they don't like a hypocrite. Now, I had said that in prior videos, certainly last week when I was talking about Kevin DeLeon. It is a scorn. It is a hypocrite is just a shameful thing. And I said in my last video, a hypocrite at church is the same thing as a complicit person at work. It's shameful because there's no reason for it. A hypocrite is fraud. It is fake. It is you say you're going to do one thing, you do something else. So you're a liar. A complicit person is a person that is in a position, has an opportunity, and has the authority and the wherewithal to do something about something that's wrong and don't. It's just my two worst words, because you devalue yourself and you devalue the other person when you do it. It's just altogether wrong. I'm sorry. I wish I could be nicer, but this is a dark area for us. Because in order for all of us to get what we all want, one person is stopping. That's too much power. This is why the ego feels the way it does. This is why he thinks he can go on a show with a person who has experience in politics, has been in it since 1990 himself, has written books, has done tours, has interviewed politicians way higher than you are, and going to have a live show where people are chatting on the chat bar. The chat bar is live. And you think you could take him on. That's how ego. You think you can take him on. You looked like a fool. And he wasn't even in his best episode, Tavis. I've seen him interview others, many. I've seen him moderate. I've seen him interview. He didn't let you have it. He brought it, but he didn't let you have it. And you still failed to convince him, us, those who were chatting on the chat, the chat play was live, and anyone else that you should stay. There was one of your own constituents that wrote in the chat. I believe her name is Gutierrez, Gloria Gutierrez. Read it for yourself. She said it spot on. She said, I am one of your constituents. We want you to resign. You are gaslighting. You are gaslighting us, and you're showing us who you truly are. Nothing said it better than that. Because Tavis said to him, You keep referring to your district as my constituents. Do you not hear yourself say that? Because see, this is the thing too. Uh-oh, she's getting comfortable. This is the thing too. When a person is beyond reach, okay, beyond reach, they don't hear themselves as we hear them. They don't perceive themselves as we perceive them. They don't understand themselves in the way that we're relating to them. They are just too much in their ego, and they would rather convince all of us to join them in giving them on their apology tour than to simply step down to the outcry of all the citizens, the constituents, the council member, the president of the United States, the governor. Everybody is asking for this, and you're still not doing it. That is gaslighting. And as the title of one of Tavis's books, one of my favorites, is What I Know for Sure. What I know for sure is this. When you do this, you are hurting everyone who is begging for relief from you. You're holding them up. There's a landfill in them that can't be released because of you. It's all ego. You've already made history. The City Council censored all three of you, even though Nuri had already resigned. But now Kevin DeLeon and Gil Cedillo, they've all been censored. Never ever in LA, never ever in history has 3 City Council people had to be censored. You're putting shame on the city. We are one of out of 4 major cities in this nation. We're the number 1. LA, New York, Chicago, and Atlanta. Atlanta and Dallas. It keeps going back. We're it. We are the stellars of how a big city should be run. And you're making a mockery of this. You need to step down. As a citizen, as an employee, as a man of integrity. Step down. Step down. It's not going to be any different from all of the people, all of your constituents. They're protesting as strongly as anyone else. Yes. And lastly, I believe Tavis asked a question. I know it's personal. He said you don't have to answer this, but how is it at home? I know that I think I did research and found that he has one daughter. I think she's maybe in college, beginning of college, very early college. She has to be embarrassed. I would be. There's just no other thing. Step down with whatever dignity you think you still might have, ego man. We want you gone. We want you gone. There's no reason to be constantly protesting in such a time as this, and it's best for you to step down and make everyone else calm again. Okay? Okay? Okay, bye. Love y'all. Bye. We're gonna stay on this topic because this is my way of protesting. Bye, y'all. Tune in, and I'm going to set the link again at the bottom. I'm also going to put the link to my last 2 uploads in case you've missed them before, and you can see this is my 3rd one on this topic, and I ain't letting go. I'm like a dog with a bone that ain't letting go until you go. So bye. Okay, bye. Bye, y'all. I love y'all. Bye.